Wednesday and welcome back, and welcome if you are new to my channel. I am the Nicole C. Brown, and this channel is all about health and wellness, stress management, some doula midwife work, and how to combat depression and everything of the like, mental health. I think we all know that food can and does affect our mood, which also can affect our mental health, our overall well-being. You eat too much sugar, you feel depressed, eat a piece of candy, eat a piece of cake, you might instantly feel gratified, but when the sugar high crash comes and you feel crabby and you're agitated, you're like, maybe eating that cake wasn't such a good idea. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat cake or Snickers or M&Ms, because I love all those things and we all need to splurge and eat some junk sometimes. But having an overall healthy lifestyle of eating is good for your mental health, your body, your mood. So if you suffer from depression, bouts of depression, or if it's a clinical thing and you're taking medication, you can even ask your doctor if you're seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist, or if they referred you to a meal prep type of a person, a program. They will all say that eating has a lot to do with your mood and overall well-being. So what I have learned from working with my clients, my grandmother and a lot of people on my mom's side of the family being in the medical field, being doctors and nurses, hygienists and so forth, changing your diet, even tweaking it just a little, can change a lot. And I can even attest for that in my life. I have a sugar problem. I eat too much sugar, always have since I was little. As I've gotten older, eating that much sugar has affected me completely different than it did when I was younger. I would be agitated, I would crash in the afternoon, and I tend to get up earlier now. The older I've gotten, my body is conditioned to get up by 6, which I hate. So whether I'm getting up to do something or go somewhere, I'm just awake. So from years of getting kids ready for school, classes myself, adult jobs where I had to get up and get dressed and commute to work, I found that adjusting my diet helped. I was diagnosed a couple of years ago with arthritis, and I was having some issues with my liver. That was actually largely attributed to birth control, but it took me a really long time to figure that out. I was actually talking to an ex-coworker who I became close to. We're the same age, and she was talking about some of the struggles that she was having in her lab work coming back. And in conversation, we both realized that we were the same age, we're using the birth control, and we had been told the same things about our liver. So doing some deeper research, that was more attributed to birth control. But even if you are taking a medication for arthritis, let's say, or a heart medication, if you are in chemotherapy or you're recovering from taking chemotherapy and radiation, changing your diet, even implementing new things and taking 1 or 2 things out, will significantly change your life. What I'm holding here is a smoothie. I make these every day, sometimes twice a day. I don't have a big appetite and I eat super slow, and I've always been that way since I was little. So I used to be anemic when I was a little kid, and then I experienced anemia through my pregnancies, which a lot of women do. You're taking the prenatal vitamin as prescribed by your gynecologist or your OB, hopefully. Yes, if you are pregnant and nursing, you need to still stay on your prenatal till like at least a year. Talk to your doctor after. But I spent a lot of years being anemic, and I took the iron pill. But if any of you have taken iron or are currently taking iron, iron can constipate you like really, really bad. So as an adult, I was like, I can't live my life like this, taking this iron and having this other issue, which if you are on medications, chemo, heart, any type of medication, you know that the side effects can be completely debilitating. They cause further issues and compromise other things. So again, changing the way that you eat, introducing your body to green vegetables and fruit can combat the adverse effects of whatever the medication is doing inside of your body. So I knew that I wasn't getting enough nutrients from my food because I wasn't really eating. I had very hectic schedules, having 3 children, getting them back and forth to school. I was teaching dance and music. Then I was also a full-time manager at a 7-Eleven store. Then I was laid off from that job. I was working another 9-to-5 job, but I was still teaching, still mommying. So I'm holding 2 and 3 jobs pretty much all the time. I don't eat as it is. I wouldn't have time to eat, and when I did, it was usually mess, like French fries and, you know, some foolishness. So I found myself being very sluggish, having extremely long days. I'm up 5, 6 in the morning, and then I'm not getting home from work because I worked the 2 to 10 shift when I was at 7-Eleven. I wasn't getting home from work until 11 or later. It takes me a little time to wind down, so I wasn't coming home and just going straight to bed. I was taking a shower and I was meandering around the house and, you know, whatever I was doing. So that's really late to be eating greasy food. So I'm just like, what can I do to improve my mood? Because now I'm agitated and I'm cranky, and I need to make sure that my energy is up so that I'm able to maintain this busy schedule that I'm on, right? And I'm able to help my customers, deal with my team, deal with my children, and just take care of all my responsibilities, my students, that I had to in a loving way, and not be a Betty White when I needed a Snickers, right? So, or not even eat a Snickers. So I started thinking, how can I get this in my body? Smoothies is a wonderful way. It actually can do a lot of different things. If you are like bodybuilding, or you're trying to build muscle, or even if you're trying to lose weight, you can alter what you put in your smoothies and the intake of the smoothies throughout your day to meet whatever the health needs that you have. So for me, it's always, I need to gain weight or maintain weight, or I need to make sure that I'm getting the amount of nutrients that I need for the day. So I tend to eat smoothies more than once a day. And what I'm putting in my smoothies are high protein, along with the fruits and the vegetables. Leafy greens are really, really good for digestive things and helping your body break down enzymes in your body. Kale, it took me a while to love kale. At first I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. I'm never eating this ever again. It took me about a year to switch over to being able to eat kale. I've always been able to eat the raw spinach, which is the little leafy greens, which you can put in an actual salad and eat it raw. But if you're transitioning into eating leafy greens and you're finding that it's hard on your teeth or on your tummy, or you're just like, this is disgusting, I can't do it, putting it in a smoothie is a really good way to ensure that you're getting the nutrients from it without having to really taste it, because you're mixing it with other like yummy stuff. So when I first started eating kale, I was eating it as a salad, and I was like, this is disgusting. So I put kale and spinach in the smoothie along with some other stuff that I'll get to next. And I was like, can't even taste the kale or the spinach. My children, mainly my daughter and my youngest, it's hard to get them to eat greens consistently. So I also found that in order to make sure they're getting the proper nutrients, sorry, it's really windy where I'm standing, get the proper nutrients for them as well, aside from their multivitamin, which as women and men, if you're watching this, you should be taking a regular men's multivitamin or women's multivitamin, or if you're prenatal, if you're pregnant, nursing and so on, you should be taking a vitamin. So depending on where you are in your life, your age, there's different vitamins that address different needs. If you're a certain age and older, you might need more calcium, more folic acid. If you're younger, you might need calcium too, but other things that they address. So talking to your primary care physician or your OB to make sure that you're getting the proper multivitamin that you need. But we all know that multivitamins, you're not getting all the nutrients that you need from just taking that multivitamin once a day or twice a day. You should be getting it from your food. But for most of us, we don't eat the proper things throughout the day. We don't eat enough throughout the day, or we don't eat the right time. It's like so much going on. We're all working, we have kids, whatever we're doing. So smoothies are a really good way, again, to ensure that you're getting all the nutrients that you need, on top of taking your multivitamin, on top of eating, so on and so forth. It's like somebody's having some fun behind me. So kale and spinach are amazing leafy greens that are sometimes hard to chew and to digest. So again, if you're transitioning into getting leafy greens into your diet, you can put them in your smoothie. You could even do broccoli too. I've always liked broccoli. I've been able to eat it raw. I've been able to steam it and then eat it with salt and pepper and it's fine, but that's disgusting to some people. You have to get used to it. It's an acquired taste. I get it. So you can also throw that in your smoothie, or you can put cheese on top of it, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, just something that to enhance the taste and entice you to eat it. Whatever you got to do, just keeping the integrity of the vegetable, not overcooking it, so you're not cooking out all the nutrients. So back to the smoothie. Depending on what you're trying to address, what you're trying to do, your ingredients are going to change. I'm not one to measure things, so if anybody asks me, well, how much of this, girl, boy, I don't know. I just put stuff till it looks good and I taste it and I'm like, oh, this is good. I, again, have a sweet tooth, so when I first started doing the smoothies, I found it very difficult to just do the fruit, the yogurt, the almond milk, the veggies without putting some sugar in there. So if you just have to at the very beginning while you're trying to wean yourself off, your best bet is using like agave honey, because it's sweet, but it's natural, so it's good for you. If you can't use the agave honey, or you're still like, this is disgusting, brown sugar, just a teeny, maybe like this much, and you're like, are you serious? Yeah, just a little bit. You got to get your body off of refined sugars and only use natural sugars. For me, I was able to address the sugar content without having to put sugar in my smoothies by using bananas. If you get bananas when they're not ripe and then just leave them a day or so, the bananas ripen really fast. The bananas that are the sweetest usually are when they're like overripe, so when they're speckly and they're soft. People use those for banana pudding, for cooking and so on and so forth. Those will work really well for the smoothies because they're really sweet. The sugars have already processed and it's really good for your smoothie. So if it's just you and you're the only person that's gonna be having this smoothie, you probably only need one banana. But if it's like, 2 or 3 people, you're cooking for your children, you can always do more bananas to sweeten it or to thicken it as well. So bananas will help with not only the consistency of making it thicker, but it will also sweeten it up without you having to use artificial sugars or honey. Or if you still find that's not sweet enough, your best bet is to go with honey first and then brown sugar if you just have to. So there's that. Almond milk, it took me a year or so along with the kale to transition out of regular milk into almond milk. I was like, this is disgusting. Why would anybody drink this? But over time, I got used to it, and I use almond milk in just about everything. I don't really eat cereal anymore. I eat the raw oats, organic raw oats in the morning, and I will put almond milk and a little bit of brown sugar in there, or I'll put a banana or apples, blueberries, anything that can sweeten it as I'm continuing to wean myself off of sugar and, stay as natural as possible. So, almond milk, yogurt. The yogurt that I use is either the plain Greek yogurt, coconut Greek yogurt, or they have a vanilla as well. So you can try any of those. Usually the plain one's not going to have any flavor. It's plain. But if you get the vanilla, the coconut, there might be a blueberry one maybe, but I stay away from the ones that have the coloring in it and just get the plain ones. It will add not so much taste unless you get the coconut one, but the thickness of it. So this is really just whatever you prefer. I like mine like the thicker, frothy, how like the Jamba Juice do that. So using the yogurt, and then my next thing is frozen fruit. You can get the bag of frozen fruit. All grocery stores carry their own brand, and they'll have all the different types of brands of frozen fruit that you can get in a bag. What I've noticed is using the frozen fruit will give you a thickness, the desired thickness. If you're not so much into it being thick, you don't really care or whatever, you can use just regular fruit. Blueberries, strawberries, bananas, of course, again, for the sweetness. Blueberries are not necessarily going to be sweet. They're more sour, but blueberries are high in antioxidants, so they're really, really good to put into your smoothies. Strawberries, of course, can be sweet, and that can add to the sugar that you're trying to get without adding sugar. Mulberries, blueberries are good to add. The only thing I would say about those, I'm a texture person, and all of those berries, including strawberries, have those little seeds. And even if you put it in a juicer, food processor, a blender, lots of the little seeds will still come out because they're so tiny, and that's just like disgusting to me. So I kind of like can't do the berries all the time. I do them sometimes, but overall, I stay away from mulberries, blueberries, blackberries because of the seeds. I do blueberries, strawberries I'm able to tolerate, the frozen mango chunks, the banana, the plain Greek yogurt or the coconut Greek yogurt, almond milk. I also put almond butter in mine because I need the protein. I don't eat enough throughout the day. I'm not a super big meat eater. If I do eat meat, it's tuna, salmon, turkey. I'm not a big burger eater anymore. I stay away from fried food. So I need to make sure that I'm getting enough protein so that I can sustain the weight that I have and then hopefully gain a pound or two and try to keep that on. So almond butter you can get just about anywhere. Like peanut butter, it kind of does the same thing, but almonds tend to be higher in protein. So again, it's just a personal preference of what it is that you're trying to, are you gaining weight, sustaining weight, trying to lose weight? Even if you're losing weight, you still need protein. You just would need maybe less and not as much throughout the day. Maybe only do one smoothie as a meal replacement for lunch or dinner. I would do, since I'm trying to sustain weight and keep the protein, I would do a smoothie in conjunction with a meal, if that makes sense. So those are the things that I add to my smoothie, along with sea moss. Sea moss is new for me. Randy, who was in the last video, who talked about some amazing money-saving tips, she also has an amazing holistic brand of products for your body, along with the sea moss that she makes with her twin sister Ryan. And I will be talking about that in a very near future video about what I use on my skin, because people ask me that as well. And her products are included in my regimen. So sea moss, she has an 8-ounce container of sea moss that you can purchase, that I put just a dab of that in there. And sea moss has a lot of amazing health benefits as well. It doesn't really taste all that great. It doesn't even really have a taste, honestly, but it's not really good either. So mixing it with, bananas or blueberries or something is really great. So you're not just like, what the heck is this? Again, so let me run down quickly what I do. Banana for the thickness, along with the sugar. Blueberries, mango chunks, strawberries, coconut or plain Greek yogurt, almond milk, almond butter, sea moss, kale, and or spinach. I do both because they're two different types of roughage. They're both green, of course, but kale's a little rougher, so I'll do both. But again, depending on what you like, what you don't like, what you're trying to attain in your health process, your lifestyle process, if kale is just disgusting to you, or spinach is disgusting, or you're just trying to get used to both of them, you could sprinkle a little bit of both, or just do one at a time until you feel more comfortable and confident that, hey, I can do this. So it's totally up to you. That's pretty much it. I have mine again 2 times a day, sometimes 3. It just depends on what my schedule is, how much I've been able to eat or not eat. I usually just do a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. I might do a banana. Lunch, sometimes I skip altogether because I'm doing something and I just don't have the opportunity, or I don't make myself stop to eat. But if I do eat, it's usually a romaine salad, so that's the darker lettuce with spinach and or kale, and raw tuna with vinaigrette, balsamic vinaigrette, salt and pepper. Might put some avocado in there as well. So that's my lunch if I eat lunch. And then I'll have another smoothie. Dinner, it varies. I cook a lot because I have children. I feel like if I didn't have children, I probably wouldn't cook as much. So they've made me domestic. So I'll do tacos, use turkey meat for my tacos, or I'll do chicken tacos, shrimp tacos. Salmon is a big thing in my house that I cook a lot. Meatloaf, but I use turkey. Rice, salad, broccoli. I stay away from like starchy stuff. I like squash. Squash is good. My kids are not really squash fans, but squash is another good one. Mushrooms provide you with zinc. Zinc is good for sinuses and immune boosting. So with the COVID, I know a lot of people boosted up their zinc intake or started taking zinc in conjunction with whatever else they were taking before, or something new to add. I started taking zinc, and within a week, I had a rash up my arm, and that's one of the side effects, and I'm super sensitive. So I did stop taking it, but I found out recently that mushrooms are high in zinc. So if you're like me and you try zinc and it doesn't do well with your body, there are foods that you can put in place of supplements to ensure that you're getting all the proper nutrients. So I don't really like mushrooms, not my thing, but you can season them to taste and add them in. If I add them in with, spaghetti or meat, chicken, you can put it on top of your chicken with some sauce, and then it kind of, this is not there. But as far as eating them raw, I'm not a fan. They have to be cooked and like mixed in with something else. Personal preference. Spinach you also can cook. The spinach that comes in the bag, the leafy spinach, you can roll it and cut it or tear it just like you do collard greens, mustard greens, and steam them with salt and pepper, onions, tomatoes, mushrooms, and saute it in a pot, steam it, eat it that way. So that's another way to make sure you're getting the leafy greens in. But for me, putting it in the spinach and putting it in a smoothie and being able to eat it. So putting in a smoothie, the kale and the spinach works well for me, and I think it can work well for you as well, even no matter what your health situation is and what you're trying to accomplish. And last, with summer coming and it's warm outside, even if you're just sitting on your porch, as we're all kind of still stuck, things are starting to open up, but we're still more or less being home, working from home. Adding a little bit of lemon or lime just adds a little kick to it, makes it refreshing, especially if you're having it midday where the sun is shining and you're outside, or even later on in the evening. Is this a little refreshing thing for you? Health for the end of to end your day. And these are just something small that you can do to implement in your everyday life for your overall health. If you have any questions, as usual, you can always email me at thenicolecbrown@gmail.com. And I am still taking clients as always, thenicolecbrown.com. I welcome questions here, or if it's something private, you want to talk about specific things for you, of your situation, and coaching in that department, I am here. Please stay well, take care of yourself, be patient with yourself, love yourself. Black Lives Matter.